and welcome to a special announcement from the Storied Arcs podcast. You may notice, if you're listening in real time and subscribed, that this is dropping on a Tuesday. What? Are we changing? No. We're doing something different for Tuesdays, and for those of you who are Western comic purists, Tuesday is frequently the new release day for manga. And it's
also currently the new release day for DC Comics, but we're not going to get into that right now.
And it'll all be different within a year from now, so who knows? But
probably
the reason we're dropping on Manga Day is because we're covering a manga, and this is forbidden territory for Alex. He's never crossed the threshold before. And the book that we're choosing is called Pluto, and it's an interesting choice. I picked it up personally because Jacob Phillips, the comic artist, got into manga recently, recommended this book. I picked it up, started reading it, was totally blown away by how good it was. Only found out later this was in the Astro Boy universe, which
not in the universe, but it's
a redux of an Astro Boy story.
It is. It's a remix of a classic Astro Boy story. So,
but what makes it great for this podcast is it's short. It's 8 trades. Alex has the number of chapters, and you don't need any Astro Boy background.
No.
It helps, but you don't need.
Yeah, it helps a little. Yeah, so for the next few weeks in this feed on Tuesdays, we'll have 4 episodes covering the 8 trades there. So you can go onto plutomanga.com and it's all there on the website, but it's broken down by chapters there. And so for the first episode, which is volumes 1 and 2 in print, we're going issues 1 through 15. Then week after that, volumes 3 and 4 is chapters 16 to 31, then 32 to 47, then 48 to 65. So that's kind of the breakdown there. And again, if you have them in the trades, the actual prints, we're doing 2 volumes at a time, kind of how like we've done some other books like The Unwritten and things like that. But it's not just Mike and I talking about this book here. It's not only is it a special that we're doing a manga dropping on Tuesdays, but we're going to have a special guest with us. We're doing a big crossover, and we're doing it with the guys from the Tankobon podcast.
Yes. And specifically just one of the guys, at least for now. Who knows? We may get both hosts by the end. Yeah. But Cole from the Tankobon podcast. And the way I found the Tankobon podcast is there is a place called Manga. It is a manga shop in Cincinnati, Ohio. These guys are from the Cincinnati-ish region. Yeah, I think he's about 90 minutes away, but he went to school around here, and they had some promo stuff at the shop. And I was like, this is great. I'm brand new to manga. I know nothing. So I listened to them, and lo and behold, they are the manga version of Storied Arcs. They take completed manga series, cover them book by book, sometimes 2-3 books at a time for really long series.
Like how we're doing Pluto here, yeah.
Exactly, how we're doing Pluto here. And additionally, now they go above and beyond. They also, on Sunday nights, cover all of the stories in the weekly Shonen Jump magazine. So all of the current stories, they just rip them all off in one episode. That would be like if Alex and I were like, yeah, here's the DC wall this week, in addition to our standard format. These guys just know their stuff inside and out. They're funny. They're entertaining. They have great insights. And they have really great taste. So I'm super excited that they'll be joining us. They will help us cure our ignorance of manga. I've been reading manga for only about a year, and I believe this is your first ever manga.
No, I mean, I've read some here and there, but nothing that I've said I'm going to read all of this. Like, I have plenty of exposure. I've had exposure to it my whole life. But the idea of saying I'm going to read an entire series is something I've actively avoided. And we talk a little more about that in the episode there. But for the sake of the podcast, for the sake of discussion, and the sake of harmony across the aisle, I'm going to do my part to bridge the gap in readership here. But no, it's really great. It's been fun to record with Cole. And you're right. He's got great insight, and it's a lot of fun to look at a story and look at this story in particular from both, or from the lens of someone who reads a lot of manga like Cole, someone like you who's brand new to it, and again, someone like me who not only hasn't read it but is like actively avoided it. Yeah. So no, it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, it's dropping on Tuesdays on this feed, but it's not going to replace what we're doing on Thursdays normally. So it's going to be a bonus bonus extra discussions. On Thursdays we'll still continue with our regular comic deep dives. Going through our seasons that way. But one of the reasons we picked Pluto here is by the time you listen to all of our episodes, all of our discussions with Cole, it should time up fairly nicely with the release of the anime adaptation, which is dropping on Netflix in October.
And I've got to say, I've never been a big anime fan, even as I read manga. And I find like, okay, well, you added color to the manga, there's a little bit of motion, but to me, it still looks choppy. I'm like, go all out, do the thing. This is one of the most beautiful trailers for any animated thing I've ever seen. It looks like it's going to hit the beats very authentically. It's going to invest in the characters, good voice acting, great soundtrack, special effects, everything. It just looks like it's going to be the next it thing on Netflix. Now, I could be wrong about that. I'm not good at guessing it things. Yeah. But if I had to place my money on what people will be talking about in November of 2023, I think a lot of people are going to be celebrating this, and you can get ahead of the curve by reading the book, and you can read it for free.
Yep. PlutoManga.com. It's all there. Like I said, it's on the webpage. If you've never read it before, never read a manga before, remember it's right to left, not left to right. But yeah, it's all there. You can read it all. It's broken down. All 65 chapters are there. Just make sure you've read through what we're going to cover each week in each episode. We'll be here every Tuesday going forward for the next couple of weeks, and Thursdays with the regular comic deep dive.
I know we're working overtime. We're getting paid twice our usual amount.
Absolutely.
3 times for me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So anyway, we will see you next Tuesday. If you're a Western comics purist, aka snob, and you will not be joining us for this Pluto adventure, feel free to tune in on Thursday as usual and skip past these episodes. Obviously, give the whole podcast a 5-star rating, even if you have objections to manga content.
Well, let's be very clear here. You can listen or not. Please download.
Oh, listening, yeah, sure, yeah.
Listening
give us some stats.
Yeah, listening is entirely optional. But at the very least, please download, say subscribe. It'll show up in your feed. If you want to skip past it,
Marcus played, yeah, Marcus played. Every app has that. Yeah. So anyway, thank you for listening to this little teaser. We're super excited to jump into Pluto. We're very excited to continue with our comics, and whichever path you choose or both paths, we will see a lot of you in October 2023.
Peace.